I'm from a small town in the Midlands. I love it there. I've never left. I never would leave. And a lot of my friends are from there, and I went to school with them, and they do real jobs, proper like hard-working jobs, like they do plastering or tarmacking or work in factories. But I've got new friends as well now, because I do this. I've got kind of arty, middle-class city friends, and they're great as well. I love hanging around with them. They say things like, I know a great ramen place. I love you guys. I don't know what you're talking about, but they're great. I'm loving hanging around with them. You know what I found about this new arty, middle-class group of friends I'm hanging around with? They're actually nice to each other. It's a complete alien concept to me, right? I went out the other day in London with them. One of the guys, a man, right, he came out with a tote bag over his shoulder. Nobody said anything to him. Everybody just accepted it. No one shattered it, chucked it on the roof. It was beautiful. It was beautiful people. Because I think as a man, we're not as good at making friends, blokes. We're not as good at getting to know each other because we're a bit weird. Like, we want to get to know each other, blokes. We want to find out about each other, but none of us want to appear vulnerable. So what I noticed blokes will do, right, we'll ask questions to get to know each other, but we'll frame those questions in like a needlessly macho way. I was on a stag do with a guy last year, I didn't really know. Halfway through the conversation, he goes, Josh, here's a question for you. If you were on death row, what would your meal be? I was like, can't you just ask me what food I like? Why have I got to be on death row for this? It's like a needlessly morbid detail. OK, I've got a question for you then, actually. If you had to give your kids up for adoption, what album would you listen to on the way to the orphanage? Just trying to get to know each other, you know, but... Very lucky. I've got a couple of kids as well. I've got two young boys. I've got a 3-year-old and a 7-month-old. They're great. Is the parents in the room? Yeah, it's great. Now, I don't know if this is a universal experience, but what I'm finding with my children is, right, they don't like the feeling of, like, being asleep. Have you noticed this? I'm finding that they much prefer to be awake. That's what I'm finding. My eldest, he's never slept, right? Every night I put him down about 7:30. By 10 o'clock he's awake. Then he comes into my bed. Then I go into his bed. And every night I'm surrounded by cuddly toys looking at fluorescent stars on the ceiling. I just think, I've got this wrong. This has gone wrong here. I'm paying the mortgage. I'm trying to sleep in a 4-foot Lightning McQueen bed. He's in my bed listening to me on the baby monitor. That's the wrong way around, surely. Completely the wrong way down. I'll get downstairs in the morning, he's got a coffee and a paper. Like, what time do you call this? It's hard parenting. It's hard, it's challenging, it's tiring, but there's another side of parenting that people don't talk about as much. It's also, as well, of course, very, very boring. It's boring as well. People do not prepare me for how boring having children is, right? My eldest, he's 3 years old. I'm not being arrogant here, Hammersmith, but I'm much more advanced than he is. I'm much further along in my development, and yet we spend all day doing everything that he wants to do, right? Sometimes my wife gets back, she's like, have you had a good day today? I'm like, no. I've been massively understimulated, to be honest with you. We did a jigsaw earlier today that had 4 pieces in it. That's just not enough for me.
It's lovely to be here. I've come all the way from Brighton. Just in case you're wondering what this haircut is about. Might be a new face for some of you people. Don't panic, the BBC invited me here because they needed a beige lesbian. So I'm just here to tick some boxes. Not your box, madam, just a metaphorical box. I'm half Spanish, that's what's happening there. I've got a Spanish mum, and she lives here in the UK. It's all very legal. She's lived longer in the UK than she's ever lived in Spain, but the brilliant thing about my mum is that she's never lost her accent. She's done very, very good. Lost the words she cannot pronounce. Lost the words she cannot pronounce, huh? My favourite word that my mum's never been able to pronounce is my brother's name. Not even a difficult name, his name's Stephen. I don't know if you've notice this, Spanish people, any word that begins with the letter S, they struggle, right? So my mum doesn't call him Stephen, she calls him Steven. What's his name, Mum? Steven. Is it? Isn't it just Stephen? Jennifer, I know his name is my son. It is Steven! You don't want to mess with my mum. She's not like British people here in this country. We can be quite passive-aggressive, can't we? She's just very aggressive woman. I don't know how my mum's never really coped in this country, and I think it's because, like a lot of Mediterranean people, she's quite loud, yeah? She's got one volume. It's like this. Whereas in this country, particularly if we're middle class, we tend to be low talkers, don't we? We don't like to raise our voices, do we? Why? Because we've got money. And we just assume that if you are raising your voice, well, you're probably poor. Or worse, foreign. Great thing about having a Mediterranean mum is they feed you. Oh, my God. She's always feeding. That's her way of showing that she loves her children, is to feed us. You know, I can remember going around friends' houses, you know, like English mums. Go around an English mum's house and the conversation with mum's more like this. I think you've had enough. My mum will feed you till you puke. Going on in my life, and my mum will relate it back to a meal that she's cooked. Do you know what I mean? Like, so good or bad, particularly if I'm depressed. If I phone up my mum and I've had a terrible day, yeah? I phone up my mum, conversation always goes like this. Oh, Jennifer, my God, I'm so sorry to hear that you're having a hard time right now. But you know what? Don't worry, okay? I made a soup. Come home. You sound hungry. I made a chicken curry, I made a lamb tagine, I made a casserole, Jennifer. I made some tortillas, some paella, some curry, Jennifer. You love very curry. Maybe some meatballs, some pork ball, beef ball, aniseed ball, banana ball. You're a lesbian. You don't eat enough balls. Please, come home. Eat my balls.
Do you love London? I love London. I feel like London is created by the people, right? Who are just crazy and sexy and ambitious. I got into an Uber the other day, not bragging, and I got into an Uber, and the driver, he said, would you like to have the radio on? And I was like, oh, I don't mind, it's up to you. And then he said, well, actually, I make my own music. Do you mind if I put some of that on? No, I don't. And then he put on Drake's new album. I wonder how often it works. I wonder how often there's a middle-aged white woman thinking, oh, well, he looks like Aladdin and he sounds like confidence personified. Pull over and jump in the back, Nikolai. I'm having a good life. I have recently started doing yoga, which is just change. Yes, woo for the yoga over there. Are you a team? I'm new to it. I love it. Yoga has changed my life. It's brilliant. Yoga is my new drug. My old drug was drugs. Which I'm not going to say anything positive about because it would be incredibly irresponsible. I'm not going to say anything positive about drug taking. What I will say is I didn't take MDMA until I was 32, and it was such a relief to know I could be happy. The equipment's broken. But yoga is nearly as good, and there's no downsides. It's given me a whole new language. My favourite new word is namaste. It's a very old word, it's very sacred, and it means the yoga has finished now. And then you're allowed to leave. I think that the key to being happy as you get older is self-acceptance. Like, I have to accept things about myself now. Like, I'm 36, I thought I would have children by now, and I don't. In an ideal world, what I wanted to self-fertilise. I wanted to have children that were exactly my genetics so that I could show them to my parents and go, see, it was my childhood, they're fine. Science can't do that yet. And then I had a crazy day last month where I just thought, I'm just going to buy some sperm. I'm just going to buy some sperm off the internet. I've got a good job. I'm just going to buy some sperm. Guys, sperm is so much more expensive than I thought it was going to be. It is tens of thousands of pounds. We are all wasting a valuable resource. 17-year-old me would have been a millionaire if I'd learned how to catch it and chuck it in the freezer. It's a shock. I do think self-acceptance is the key. Like, there's things about myself I don't like, but I just have to accept now that they're not going to change. This is who I am. Like, so for instance, I don't like art. I think art is rubbish. I think lots of people think art is rubbish, but we're too worried of looking stupid, so we go along with it. I think that the worst art form is theatre. Right, OK, I can sense how unpopular this opinion is. Hear me out. I think theatre is diabolical. Look, I do, look, and also, I'm aware, if you are a performer of some kind, if you're an actor, look, please don't be offended. I don't mean being in the play. Obviously, if you're the person in the play that gets to put a wig on and walk up and down and move your arms and project your voice, saying things like, I think you'll find you're contradicting yourself, Alan. Fun. Having to watch it. Dear Christ. I can't concentrate. I can't lose myself in the story. I know that it's not real because I'm surrounded by people eating crisps. And they don't let you look at your phone. So all you're thinking is, well, how long has it been?
This year, I did no lilt February. Thank you. I know it sounds impossible, but you take it one day at a time. Did I have any today? No, you're a legend. Gets hard around the middle of the month, you get the cravings. It's called lilt guilt. You're like, oh, I bloody love the lilt. It's the night where you go to the shop at midnight, you kick the door and say, where's the lilt? And they're like, we don't stock it anymore. Like, ah! So you try and make your own hooch lilt. You know, you get a pineapple and a grapefruit and you add in batteries and a horse's head. And you're like, it's good, but it's not totally tropical. Did that joke in America recently. Turns out they don't have lilt there. This is it. This is all I do. Imagine if this was your actual... I go like blah, 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 and you go, ah, ha, 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 money. Can't believe I get away with it. You do actual, proper London jobs. You know, like blacksmith, you know? Farrier. Brunch DJ. The big three. I tell you, I do not trust people who work in offices. I know, right? What are they doing? Nothing takes that long. They're planning something. They must be. Do you know? Do you ever call in to visit your friend in an office unexpectedly? Everyone just shits themselves. They're like, what's he doing here? Cover the screen, lie across the spreadsheet, get him out. Kind regards, warm regards, best. That's how they talk. Seen the email. Hey. I know what it's like in the real world. Look, sometimes I check in your world. Oh, gross, back to showbiz. And... No, I'm very self-aware of the level of fame that I have. I was in a supermarket recently, and an older lady came up to me, and she put her hands on my shoulders, and she said, you are vaguely familiar. And that is it. I did a gig in Wrexham, and I was at an ATM machine, and a guy cycled by, and he shouted at me, surprised to see you at an ATM machine. And I've been obsessed with it since then. What did he mean? Like, on the one hand, is he surprised I don't have a butler to go to the ATM machine for? No, I think it's the opposite. I think I'm surprised you have any money whatsoever doing keyboard horse shit. Here's my greatest ever showbiz tale. I did a gig in your Milton Keynes recently, thank you, and I was staying in the Milton Keynes Hilton, and she is the least well-known of all the Hilton sisters. And I checked in after the gig at like 12:30. Room 303 is where this took place. Open the door, TV on in the room. Not that uncommon in the chain hotels. I guess it's to welcome you. But get this, on the TV is me playing the shitty keyboard on some show. Immediate thought is like, is this a service they provide to all guests? If so, no, it's the realization, this is it. I've arrived. And I waltz into the room, down the little corridor with the loo away to the left. And as the room opens out, there is a fully naked man lying on the bed. So they've given me the key to someone else's room. But is lying there watching me on the TV, and he looks up and he sees me. I wish I'd had the wit to think of something smart. What I say is like, oh shit, sorry about it. I could have said anything and I'd be a legend. I could have been like, oh, you enjoying this? Ah, no boner, and just walked out of it.
The problem is the builders, my dad's mate, he's a proper geezer, proper South East London geezer. One of those builders, you know that walk? Just walks like that. His legs like he's got a pool table between his legs. And he walks like that, and also he's got those really thin jogging bottoms. You know those like grey jogging bottoms that builders wear? I don't know where they get them from. They're so thin, and it just grabs onto anything that's there. I feel like I'm getting stared out by his knob and balls as he comes in. And sometimes it's weirder than him being naked. I don't know why. It feels more intrusive. He's like, hello, son, what we got here? I don't know. Everything's walking around like that. I reckon I could draw his knob and bollocks from memory better than mine. So he's coming like that. And I'm like, oh, God. I go, do you want a cup of tea? He goes, yeah, I'll have a cup of tea. I went, how many sugars? He went, 13. That's not a cup of tea anymore, it's a pudding. That's an Angel Delight of a tea bag, innit? 13 sugars, I'll make sticking it in. It's about £3 worth of sugar. He's only come round for a quote, it's already cost me. I put 14 in to test him. Give it him. He went, it's a bit sweet, innit? You winding me up, you're on 13, you greedy bastard. Oh, type 2 Terry's come round and it's a bit sweet for him, is it? When are you going to do this job? I want it done before your foot comes off, all right? Anyway, I had a Kit Kat in the fridge, right? I thought, right, let's get him back on side of Kit Kat, right? He's into sugar. I like introducing people to new things, see if he wants a Kit Kat. 4-finger Kit Kat. Like, how would you eat a Kit Kat? 4 fingers? I've said that wrong, haven't I? I thought you looked at me funny. Sorry, I said that like it was your name. I meant to say... I don't know what I meant to say. I meant to how would you eat a 4-finger Kit Kat? But I went, how'd you eat a Kit Kat? 4 fingers. Oh, hello, 4 fingers, how's it going? Who needs funds, eh? Me to smoke by the looks of things. Sorry about that. Not an ideal nickname for a young lady, is it, really? So what would you do? 1 finger at a time? Is that what you'd... Should we start again? Sorry, what's your name? Anita. Nice to meet you, Anita. Sorry for calling you 4 fingers. Anyway, Anita, how'd you eat a Kit Kat? That's what I was going for.
1 at a time.
1 at a time, right. 1 at a time's a normal approach to a 4th. Got there. Yes. Anyway, 1 at a time's a normal approach to a 4-finger Kit Kat, isn't it, right? I gave this builder a 4-finger Kit Kat. He picked it up, put the whole thing in his mouth at once. Bit into it like he was eating a bun. Dirty ogre sugar bitch. What kind of animal is one popping a 4-finger Kit Kat?
I am quite impressed at the number of sports that have been adapted for disabled people, though. It's nice that they are so inclusive these days. I reckon we should go further and adapt versions of classic board games as well. You could play a very special edition of Guess Who, where all the characters had disabilities. No one would ever win, because everyone would be too afraid to describe their character in case they caught offense. The questions would be fun as well. Is your person incontinent? Does your person have crayon around his mouth? Does your person have trouble speaking properly? Is your person Danny Dyer? You could also have a disabled version of Monopoly, where every space is just free parking. Speaking from the personal experience of a bloke with a disability, I think that the dating game is much harder for people like myself. I've tried speed dating. That didn't work. By the time I'd typed out a sentence, it's time to move on to the next person. And I'm not looking for sympathy either. I'm just using emotional blackmail to try to get someone to sleep with me. I'll be in the bar afterwards, if any of you are interested. Yes, even you, sir. One of the main problems I have with dating is that I find it hard to approach girls in the traditional sense. I don't have the ability to chat up a woman. When I meet a girl, I have to type them up. And that just sounds wrong. You type up your dissertation, you type up your will, and you type up your letter to your grandma. There's nothing sexy about being typed up. Even if there was, when you're typing excitedly to a woman, and accidentally spell something wrong, autocorrect is a ducking nightmare. For example, I once asked a girl if she had a pen I could borrow, so I could write down her number. I didn't expect it to say, "Can I borrow your penis?" So you can imagine my surprise when she pulled it out right in front of me. It's at this point in my set when I like to remind people that I'm not related to Stephen Hawking in any way. In fact, the closest I have ever come to being Hawking is when I went to see The Theory of Everything at the cinema. It's the movie about Stephen Hawking and his life. I didn't go to watch it though. I just went so that I could sit at the back, say random sentences on my iPad, and fuck with the rest of the audience.
I read this thing, right, online, so it must be true, where everyone who's under the age of 30 is going to live till 160. Like, you look tired now. 160! I don't want to be sat in a flat, leaking, liver spotted. Your ears and nose, they never stop growing. I'm going to be sat there looking like I work at bloody Gringotts Bank, just like, And I think if I get to 160, I'm ending it. I don't know how you do it. What are you going to do? Sort of suffocate yourself with a bag for life? I reckon the best way, and maybe like a toaster in a bath situation, but it'd be one of those like sit-down baths with a chair and a door, and then you have to wait for it all to fill up. You put in a bit of matey for a last bit of luxury, and then you go, oh shit, I forgot the toaster, and then you have to wait for it all to drain. You open the door, you go out onto the landing, down a stair lift, into the kitchen, you go, what the bloody hell have I come in here for? It's never going to happen. I'm trying to do more nice things, though. That's what I'm trying to do. Because I've never really done anything with my life. I did a thing recently. I went to go and give blood for the first time. Has anyone ever done that? It's just one woman like, yeah, I did it today. It's amazing, but I thought you did it in like a hospital or like a sanitised medical centre. You don't. You do it in like a rugby club or like a methadone church, right? I turned up to this bingo hall near my nan's house, right? I was greeted by the second moodiest person I've ever seen in my life. It was a woman called Linda. Like, her name badge said Jean, but she looked like a Linda. Do you know what I mean? Like short bob, gelled fringe, good at darts. She weren't happy. I turned up, she goes, have you got an appointment? And I went, no. And she goes, have you filled out a form? And I went, no. And then she threw this form at me, and as I'm walking off, she goes, thank you very much for giving blood. We really appreciate it. Giving blood is the greatest gift anyone could ever receive. And I'm thinking, Linda's never been given a slow cooker. So, take this form, I start filling it out. I had to use this woman's eyeliner because Linda wouldn't lend me a pen. Just filling it all out. And as I said, the only reason I went to go and give blood is make myself feel like I'd done something with my life. And instead, I'm faced with all these very serious adult questions. It was things like, have you ever been to Africa? And I'm like, no. And he goes, have you ever had sex with a man? And I'm like, no. And he goes, have you ever had sex with a prostitute? And I thought, I've done fucking nothing with my life. Nothing. Have you injected drugs? Have you spoken drugs? Have you had any treatments in the last 6 months? I panicked. I went, oh, well, me and my mum have had facials off Groupon. Not the right answer. Weirdest question, are you HIV positive? I was like, what? Like, no. Like, if anything, I'm against it. And then they took me off into this room, and there's all these sort of like Sharons and Johns lay on beds with sort of needles in their arms. Like, it looked like a spa day for smackheads. Put a belt round my arm, not even a nice belt. They spanked it a bit, they told me to relax, and then they whipped out the biggest flipping needle I've ever seen in my life, and I just fainted. Completely fainted. I can hear all these muffled voices, and then I can hear Linda's bellowing voice just going, I knew he'd be a fainter. I'm like... By the time I'd come around, all these people are trying to help me out, and Linda just parted them. And her way of trying to make me feel better, her way of trying to make me feel like a proper grown-up was going, would you like a glass of orange juice and a biscuit? I was like, no, Linda, I want to have sex with an African gay man for money. That's what I want to bloody do.
What you call in show business a triple threat. I do comedy, and I do music, and I will cut you. Just joking, I probably won't. So it's so fantastic to be here today. I will be doing a little bit of music, so if you're a fan of NWA or Snoop Doggy Dogg, then I apologise. I'll be about 3 minutes. So this first song, this is about travelling on a train. Could you give me a cheer, Apollo, if you've ever been on a train before? About half. Okay, great. Lovely. Well, the half of you who cheered, that means you are my target demographic. Congratulations. So I'm going to sing this song. This is about the worst thing any of us can ever encounter on a train journey. Before I sing it, I have had some problems at previous gigs, actually, so I just want to make something crystal clear. If you listen carefully, I'm not even saying the word Hindu. Just listen harder. Hindu on a train. Hindu on a train, cowboy hats and penis cakes, neck tattoos and big L plates, and voices like a foghorn in a drain. Hindu on a train, groping every passing male. I suspect you've been to jail, and God willing you might all go again. And although I have so many things to say to you, I'm aware that there are 6 of you, and all of you have had more fights than me. I've never glassed someone, but I do know how. Perhaps I'll glass you now. Hindu on a train, you brought your own speakers too, brilliant. To belt out Calvin Harris tunes. I mean, the maid of honor's clearly on cocaine. Heading on a train. You see me staring and you threaten me. Then drunkenly you all set on me. And with a dick-shaped bottle take your aim. If you only knew, we're not so different, me and you. Just 3 months ago, my friends Hindu, we got drunk and we pretty much hijacked a plane. We were worse than you. We went down on all the crew. Mostly reluctant gay men, some women too. We got thrown out of Spain. You see, we're all the same. But you're not listening, you're bashing out my brain. Hindu on a train.
And this is what I'm talking about, the assumption that if you're in a place like that, you obviously are the help. Okay, example 2, that's it, white people. One more example, and then we're moving on, right? I'm on tour in the UK. I'm going up to Leeds. All my team was already up in Leeds setting up the theatre. I'm travelling with my tour manager and best friend, Lila, also a black woman. So I go, you know what? That's Lila. I go, you know what, Lila? Let's not drive. It's a long drive. Let's get a train and go up in comfort. So we rush down to the train station. I buy us 2 first-class tickets. There's a train leaving, so we jump on the train takes off. And we're walking through the train towards the first-class carriage. We walk into the first-class carriage. This white woman is sitting at a table. She looks up, she sees us, and at the top of her voice, she shouts, this is first class! Now Lila goes, what the fuck did you say? And I hold Lila, no, Lila, no. I just grab her by her collar, no, Lila, no. No, Lila, no, Lila, no. Watch me humiliate this bitch just with my mouth. Come back. So at the top of my voice, I say, thank you, lady. But what was it about us that made you assume that we didn't belong in the first-class carriage? She starts to fumble. Everybody on the train just kind of leans out from behind their seats. And she gets flustered. She's like, and then all she could think of was like, I thought you were lost. And I was like, how'd you get lost on a moving train going in one direction, bitch? Now, this woman was not alone. She was with her husband. Her husband was sitting opposite her at the table, same table. But we did not see her husband's face for this entire confrontation because the entire time he was hidden behind a newspaper, just... His hands never came down. All we saw were his knuckles just gripping that paper. And they were in their 60s. So they'd obviously been married a long time, and he's behind that newspaper going, ah! Nosy, big-mouth cow! 30 years we've been married, and every day of those 30 years I've said, mind your own fucking business! And now we're both gonna get beaten up by these 2 black boys.
I recently got one of those virtual reality sets into the house, you know, with the mask and the whole... How many of you have done this yet? 1, 2, 7. It's amazing. It's genuinely stunning to me how few people have had a go on this, like whatever. It's genuinely stunning. You put the mask on your head, it's got 2 screens, independent screens, so therefore everywhere you move, it's like perfectly realistic. You put the headphones in, it's like completely immersive. You're in a 360 degree in all direction, totally artificial world. It's genuinely stunning. I think it's going to change gaming. I think it's going to change movies. It is going to revolutionize burglary. It's just, you break into a house and somebody has that on their face, Jesus, relax, chill out, you've got an hour. They're not going to know you're there. There's no rush, you can choose what you want. I like that, but that'll work well in the hall. It's a different game, right? And the weird thing is, as you saw there, not everyone's having a go at this. This is a genuinely transformative entertainment technology, and not everyone is using VR, right? And one of the quiet reasons that no one's talking about it, the reason that people aren't using VR is because nobody's using it to watch porn. It seems like a weird thing to do, but in the kind of history of nerdy kind of things, porn is surprisingly important for getting new technology accepted. Porn is the reason why Blu-ray beat the other kind of special DVD in their race a few years ago. Porn is the reason that sometimes video streaming software beat other kinds of video streaming software. The stuff that gets used for porn has a place immediately in the market, right? And nobody is using VR for porn, right? And I'm not naive, right? I know that men are visual creatures, but I can kind of see, you know, no man, while actually making love, has ever there been going, oh my God, this is incredible. Oh my God, honey, this is amazing. Oh, I'm almost there. I'm almost there. Let me just have a quick look around the flat. Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, that's amazing. Jesus, huge. Is that Corner Singer original now, or did you have a couple of days? But the main reason that people aren't using VR for porn is because you cannot be entirely sure that she's out for the afternoon. And I mean 100% sure, because the stakes are really high. You do not look good in this situation. You do not need your loved one going, oh, I've left my credit card, I better go back in. What is this you're doing to yourself? Yes, I was bringing the kids to my mother's house, but the little one fell in, we've had to come home. But Jesus, this is what greets us. The nightmare is you finish the wank of the century, you take off the mask, and there are 3 police officers just staring at you. Going, do you have no idea what's been happening for the last while? Somebody broke into your house. They were spotted, we were called, there's been a standoff. You've been a hostage for 45 minutes. We've had to close off your road. Sky News have a helicopter slowly circling overhead. Your wife is outside on a megaphone going, stay strong, John, stay strong. And all the time, we've been watching you on the thermal imaging. Just battering away at yourself.
There's other younger people in the room, right? You know what I mean. You have only ever known a time in your life when you're trying not to get pregnant or trying not to get somebody else pregnant. And I don't want to blow my own trumpet, but on both accounts, I fucking smashed it. I think it comes down to skill set at the end of the day, doesn't it? People are just good at different things. Some people are good at the violin, some people are good at parallel parking. I was very good at taking the pill. Every day, every day, every day. Honestly, I used to think I was so good at taking the pill, I deserved a reward. Arguably, there was a reward. It was the reward of not having to watch Peppa Pig or cleaning up another human's shit. Tell you what I don't understand, right, is women who are on the pill and forget to take it. Don't get that. Because don't get me wrong, I forget things. I forget my keys, my wallet, the fact I'm married. Sure! But forgetting to take something that can prevent you from creating a human that could one day say, turn the machines off, is what she would have wanted.
going to remember that one, thank you. Obviously does happen, though. Women forget to take the pill, they get knocked up. Happened to a girl I used to work with, actually, when I used to work in an office, right? And we were chatting about it one day. She was so blasé. We're in the kitchen. She's just standing there rubbing her belly like, well, the thing is, I've just got really bad memory. I was thinking, that's funny, because every day without fail, you remember to steal my milk. Maybe if you'd strapped your packet of microgynon to my semi-skimmed... Stephen in accounts wouldn't be telling everyone how you trapped him. But I think the reason I was always very good at remembering to take the pill, because I've been on it for so long. I was on it since I was about 16. And the reason I started taking it was because I was going out with my first boyfriend, Kevin Sutherland. A boom, chicka, wow, wow. He was quite the catch. He had a Peugeot 106 and a tattoo of Bart Simpson, which I thought showed a great joie de vivre. And things were going very well between Kevin and I. We had matching bracelets from Argos, so you can tell how serious we were. And we'd agreed that we were going to do it for the first time, right? So I was like, right, I'll put myself on the pill because my first time is going to be really special. My first time is going to be just like in the movies. So the big day arrived, and Kevin, bless him, he made such an effort for everything to be really perfect. Like, he paid his little brother to leave the room. To this day, the most romantic thing a man has ever done for me. And he made a mix CD of all of our favourite romantic songs. You know, like Boom, 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 Let Me Hear You Say Wayo. And as we lay down on his single bed, with his Liverpool FC duvet cover on it, the scent of Lynx Africa heavy in the air. And as Kevin took my virginity so beautifully and gently and quickly from behind, I remember thinking, wow, just like in the movies. Obviously, it's quite difficult to make eye contact in that position, isn't it? Almost felt like I lost my virginity to Stephen Gerrard. I'll never walk alone. I never will.
A lot of people often ask what made me get into stand-up comedy. I always say my mum's side, that's the funny side. But it more or less started with school. When I was in school, I was dyslexic. I can hear the thoughts in the room right now. Oh my God, he's dyslexic. He can't play Scrabble. Oh my gosh. I think where comedy started for me, because I was a bit of a class clown, you know, and the thing is, when you're dyslexic, it's not that you can't read or you can't write. For every child, it's always different. For myself, it was always my concentration would affect my education. Like, let's say, for example, I'm talking, let's say me and you are friends, bro. We're not being destructive, though, to the class. But everybody in this room remembers that one particular old teacher. She's like 172 or some stuff like that, yeah? And do you remember when she'd catch you talking and make a big meal out of it? So we're having a small conversation, then she'd notice me, particularly me, talking, ghastly. We've got a conversation over here. Yes, children, we've got a conversation over here. No, stand up. No, you can stand up. Do you remember someone would try and defend it for you? Actually, do you remember what you actually say to her as a reply? But miss, I'm not even doing anything. Do you remember when teachers just lost it for a little bit? That's right, you're doing nothing. Now stand up. Someone would try and defend it for you in your honour, in your class.
Now, miss, you know what? Man wasn't even talking, you know. I was sitting right there. I swear to you, I feel like you're just segregating him because he's dyslexic. Why are you doing this, miss?
Do you remember when your teacher just didn't care anymore? She's been there so long, she didn't care. Do you remember your teacher's like, What? You can fuck off! Do you remember when the first time your teacher swore? Do you remember that kid? He couldn't believe it. What, you're swearing at me? No, I don't care. I'm telling my mum. What do you mean about me? I don't care about. I'm going to tell Austin. What do you mean, me, yeah? Tell the whole me. This teacher didn't care. And you, stand up. So I stood in front of the whole class. You know, I was in a science lesson. So one teacher said to me, so Mr. Mo, Mr. Mo, being as you like to talk. No, because you like to talk. You ever see when teachers get so passive-aggressive, they laugh, but nothing's funny? Mr. Mo, no, you like to talk. You think it's MSN or something like this, don't you? Yes. So, being as you like to talk, yeah, You can tell everybody in this lesson, yes? Yeah, no, because you're a talker. You're a talker. You're going to be a teacher one day, aren't you? You can tell everybody in this lesson what osmosis is. Huh? What is osmosis? So I was like, osmosis. So I was like, well, osmosis is actually the process where a high concentration goes into a low concentration. A bit like if I put potatoes in water, they expand with weight and density. Anyway, what I was saying before getting really interrupted, basically like... This old teacher lost her mind. Do you remember the teacher got so angry they start shaking, but they shake so much their turkey neck would shake at the same time? Do you remember that teacher? How dare you, in my lesson, on the day of the Sabbath? The Sabbath? It's Orange Wednesdays. What's this Sabbath thing about? What's that? How can I get involved with that stuff? Do you know what? Get out right now. You can get out right now. So I never forget, I'm walking outside the lesson, spudding some of the guys in the way. Don't know. See no way. Oh, do you know what? I've had enough of being treated like this. I've had enough of this, because right now, I'm in year 11. Soon I'm going to leave. I'll be in college, earning some real money, making some EMA. I've had enough of being treated like this. Yeah. And I said to my teacher, I said, you know what, miss? I'd actually be learning if you was doing your job, which should be teaching. The whole class simultaneously went, oh my days.
All of the parenting stresses me out, all of it. Like right from the beginning, when you're pregnant, you've got to think of a name for your kid. You're like, right, we're going to have to name it. That's tradition. Going to have to give it a name. And it's hard to think of a name for a kid because that's their name. That's going to be their name all their life if it pans out. And I'm an indecisive person. I struggle to think of passwords for websites, and you get help for that, don't you? Like, oh no, weak. And names go in and out of fashion, don't they? Some names, they can be in fashion, but they don't come back in. We all know those names. And I tell you a thing that's back in fashion now, and I find it fascinating, is virtue names, right? That is back in fashion. Those virtue names is a sort of Victorian notion that if you name your kid after a virtue, they might live up to that virtue. But that's risky business, isn't it? That's hubris. I wouldn't risk it. You could call your son Victor. He could end up a bit of a loser. Ernest, he could become a bullshitter. Grace is an ever-popular name. I wouldn't risk it. You could call your daughter Grace. She could end up a sort of galumphing oaf. Stacking her head on low beams. Falling into crockery at dinner parties. You'd be like, oh, come on, Grace. Do your laces up, babe. Stop farting. Prudent, she'll end up lip deep in debt, won't she? Chastity. Although my son is called Frank. Someone said to me, you've done it, innit? You've called your son Frank. That's a virtue. To be honest, to be above board, to be trustworthy. I was like, oh, shit, never thought of that. He'd end up an estate agent now, isn't he? He's funny, Frank. I think he's funny. I would say that, wouldn't I? Because I'm his mum. He's like, funny, my child's funny. Tell a joke. Look at 774 pictures of my child. But I think he's funny, right? I went to pick him up from school the other day. I pick him up every day because they get proper arsey if you don't. They do. They ring you. They're like, where are you? I'm like, TK Maxx, where are you? Oh, all right then, yeah. So, yes, I went to pick him up from school. And I was late, and I wasn't being very laid back that day. I was running a bit late, a bit stressed. I had my eldest with me. I had my mate's 2 kids that were coming back for tea. I thought we'd just get him and go. He's in reception. I was like, right, we'll just get off, yeah? But the teacher stopped me. She went, can you wait, actually? Can we have a quick chat? In that, voice. So I had to arrange my face into one of those mum pretending to give a shit faces. I said, go on, what's he done? She said, do you want to tell Mummy what you did today, Frank, or shall I tell Mummy? He's got upset now. He's like, you tell Mummy. I'm like, what's he done? What? She said, look, today, Frank, stuck a digit up the teaching assistant's bottom. That's not ideal, is it? It's very difficult to know what to do with your face. I was going through all the faces in my phone. She said, we've talked about bodies, haven't we, Frank? And areas of bodies that we respect. I thought now would be a really bad time to go, This is awful. I mean, this is a finger up the TA's... I mean, this is now they're teaching numeracy in primary education now. Sort of like, oh, if Frank's got one finger up the TA's arse, how many fingers are still on the outside?
I'm going to explain the concept and naked attraction to you. And you're going to think to yourself, Suze, previous to your gig tonight, did you nip outside and smoke some crack? Because that's how mental it is. Right, Emma, a girl walks out on stage. She's like, I'm looking for a boyfriend. And the host goes, brilliant, we've got 6 naked men in tubes behind. Then the host says to the girl, what are you looking for? And the girl will always do the same thing. She'll go, oh my God, you've really put me on the spot. And you think, no, you chose to come on this show, moron. She goes, well, I guess I'm looking for a boyfriend, but also a friend. I really like going to European city breaks, maybe someone that likes travel. And I really like music gigs as well, so maybe someone that likes music. And I guess if I'm being really honest, what I'm looking for is love. And the host goes, brilliant, let's see if you can find love by judging dongs. Okay? 6 naked men in tubes! Okay? Now, Emma, there's a screen in front of all of them. Every round, the screen goes up a little bit more to show a little bit more of the naked body. Every round, one man gets eliminated until the end. She's got a couple of nudie fellas to choose from. Okay? Now, Emma, first round, screen just goes up to the knees. There's always one bloke who's got really rough feet. Really rough. Like he was an extra in The Hobbit. And he just never took the feet off afterwards, right? Now, she clearly looked at them feet and thought, well, them trotters ain't coming home with me, right? And you think, well, that's the end for him. Not the end. They don't shoot him. You think it's the end of the show for him, but it's not. It's not the end of the show, because he then has the indignity of the screen going the whole way up, so you see his penis and his face. Then he has the most awkward moment in television where he steps out of his tube, walks over to her and gives her the most uncomfortable hug you have ever seen. Where you can tell all he is thinking is, don't touch the lady with your dick. Whatever you do, don't touch the stranger with your dick. And then his sad little ass walks off stage. Now, the next round, the screen comes up to the waist. And let's be honest, it is the round we are all watching for. It's cock-a-clock. Now, it's not going to come as a surprise to any of you. There's a lot of people in this evening. I bet it doesn't come as a surprise to one person in this room. I ain't seen many willies. I ain't seen many of them. I ain't seen many willies. I'm not a connoisseur when it comes to willies. I was straight for a month when I was 18. I don't have the wrists, okay? But even to me, even to the untrained eye, there was one that I was like, oh, there's something up with him. There was something just not quite right about it. They're not meant to have a corner, are they? Halfway through, it had like a proper corner. Now, she clearly looked at that one and went, ooh. She can't do that, can she? She's got to go work on Monday. She don't want to look a bitch on TV. So instead, she has to do a little lie. Emma, see if you can see where she went wrong. She went, I'm going to have to get rid of number 4. Kind of weird dick. I'm going to have to get rid of number 4 because the way that he's standing, he doesn't really look like a very confident guy. And I'm only really attracted to really confident guys. And I thought, he has his penis out on television. How much more confident would you like this twat to be?
I wouldn't go down on a man with a vagina. Or, absolutely not. All on a man. No. Because a man's vagina would be disgusting. Like, I think it's a good thing that most women are born with them because you look after stuff. Like men, no, thank you. No. People get so angry though, man. Like, I always used to say the LGBT community, and then someone threw a bottle at me for not saying LGBTQIA+. And it's like, mate, I'm on your team. I just didn't know. Like, I didn't miss you out deliberately. Give people some credit. You've named your community after a bloody Welsh village. I'm not going to get everything right first time. Like, also, does anyone know what the A stands for in LGBTQIA? The A? Anyone? Asexual. Yeah. Now, that baffles me somewhat. Like, I don't understand why those people would want to be part of the same group, because that means at gay pride, you've got people who are like, I'm not ashamed, I'm proud, I'm a man and I love men, you know. I'm a woman, I have sex with women. And then you've got these people at the back who are like, I want no part of this filth. Like, holding up a blank placard, like, nothing! We want nothing! And you're like, over there, that's a different march, isn't it? Surely. The problem with some sexist stereotypes, though, is that they're there for a reason, aren't they? Some questions can only be answered with a stereotype. For example, there's a stereotype that women can multitask and that men are just like, ha, the whole time. I think it's offensive to men more than anything. But some questions can only be answered with a stereotype. For example, why is it that you never hear about a woman who died wanking? It's exclusively a male method of death, isn't it? The rope around the neck and... only the men. Now, this makes no sense because women masturbate, we know this. Women have masturbated since the 1980s, of course. I believe it was the sinking of the Belgrano that finally got them going. Now, statistically, there must exist women that like to strangle themselves to increase the size of their orgasm, but you never hear about them because they don't die doing it. Women seem to be able to strangle themselves and masturbate at the same time. You know why? Because they can multitask, you see. And men's like, ha! You're gonna die! Fuck it! Ha! And they die. So, some questions can only be answered with a stereotype. That's my point. But these stereotypes were obviously used in the past to kind of make life harder for women. But now, some people think maybe life is harder for men because of the whole Me Too movement. I don't know about that. But what I do know is that no man could deal with the Me Too hashtag. Like, no, not even the really woke, liberal good guys. Like, I've got a friend who's a real good guy, you know, like one of them. And he... he's always blogging about why we can't eat prawns or some nonsense. And... he's like, oh, this harassment stuff's terrible, isn't it? Oh, this harassment stuff, makes you want to castrate yourself. What? That's what he said. Every man should just castrate himself. It's like, come on, mate, that's such a male response, isn't it? Because women still want to have sex, they just don't want to be harassed, right? So if women are like, hey, could you stop harassing us? And men go, oh, right, I see, well, I guess I don't need this anymore. Chop. Surely women are like, no, I still want to have sex, just more on my terms. But then we're like, no, those are your options. Either we can harass you or it's nothing. The species ends. Pick a team, Karen. Huh?
You know, when I found out that I was going to do this gig, I immediately put together a message and I pinged it out on our family WhatsApp group to my husband and my children, because that is the kind of rock and roll comic I am. And my son, my teenage son, wrote back to me at once, and his message said, "Thug life chose you, brah." And I was like, oh shit, my child has joined a gang. I mean, what kind of language is this? Thug and bra. It had 2 R's, but he's a terrible speller. And I was like, oh no. And the other thing is, I thought, this message is not for me. This idiot has sent me a message by mistake, which is for a gang member. What if the next message is something much worse? And that really bothered me because, well, this was my moment. I am going to Apollo. Like, if I'm going to find out you're a criminal, can we do it next month? So I wrote back to him in all caps, because as a good Indian mother, I mainly shout at my children. I wrote back, "This is your mom." And he wrote back, "I know, gigging like a boss." Thank you. A boss. Yeah, B-A-W-S-E, boss. And also, please do remember as you listen to the rest of my set this evening that I didn't choose it, but the thug life chose me. That's right. So I have kids. Of course, you love your kids, and it's difficult to raise them. Small kids are very easy, I find. The biggest downside of having a very small child is they are very boring. Yeah, they want to show you they love you by talking to you all the time, but everything they know, you already know. I mean, literally zero value add in any of those conversations. But you do it anyway because they're your kids, you know? And you know what people say? Small kids, small problems, big kids, bigger problems. And the reason is that as your kids get older, you have to discipline them properly. And I find this very stressful because I'm born and raised in India. So what I consider robust, healthy, high-quality parental discipline is frowned upon in this part of the world. That's not true. It's illegal. I know because I have checked. And I want to have really well-behaved kids, but that is no use to me if I am in jail. So I have to learn what you guys do here. And the big thing here is teach your kids about action and consequence using a multitude of techniques. So you have something called star chart. You know what star chart is? Yeah, no, let me tell you, sir. Star chart is you find something vaguely not negative that your child possibly might be able to do and then work it into the conversation and give them a star. Thank you for not kicking me in the face today. Here's a star. And then the other one, action and consequence, naughty step. You've been terribly behaved. Kindly go relax on the staircase.
That's the thing is, like, I've met some crazy people and with some crazy ideologies. One of the craziest people I met, and the funniest, were these guys called the Black Israelites. If you don't know the Black Israelites, right, it's a group of black dudes in New York. Right? They think the black man's the original Jew. Right? They think the white man's the devil. I mean, look, you know, they have a point, right? And they think Jesus, right, is coming back to put white people in slavery, right? Which, look, I think is messed up. Because I think white people would make terrible slaves. Do you know what I'm saying? You know, you whip them once, they run to the manager. You know, you try and give them bread and water. Is it gluten-free? No. Gluten-free. I know some old white woman making my dinner and stuff like, Margaret, if you make me another shepherd's pie, I'm gonna sell your ass. Stand on his porch. Start selling people. I don't know. I get called a lot of stuff now. Especially with the internet, I get called tons of stuff. I get called racist words, and I get called racist for making jokes about white people. I just want to say my mom's white. I have one at home. She's fine. I have one. I have no issues with white people, love white people, right? But everyone calls me mad things. And I'll be honest with you, when you get called a lot of stuff, you have to have like thick skin. You can't let it bother you, because it'll just get you down if you always listen to that stuff. And it's never bothered me, except for one time. Someone said something about me, and it just really basically, someone called me middle class, and it just really... I threw my avocado on the floor. I was perturbed. I was like, mother, take this away. I can't finish this avocado. Man. If you don't know Ilford, it's in between East London. Don't you cheer Ilford, goddammit. Ilford is horrible. It's in between East London and hell. That's where Ilford is. Don't want to go Ilford, right? It's that weird thing. It's like you work hard and then people think they can take away your identity from you. And that's like a weird point. It's like you can't be working class because you've worked hard. You get to play lovely gigs like this. You can't be what you are. And the thing is, like, I am working class in my heart. But there's a conflict. My brain says different sometimes. You know? Like, sometimes my friends will call me from prison. It's just what it is. It's just what it is. They'll call me up and they'll be like, yo, Jamali, you need to start repping for the mandem. And I go, you know what? I need to start repping for the mandem. They say, you need to start saying free the mandem. I'm like, you know what? I need to start saying free the mandem. And that's in my heart. I believe that. We should free the mandem. But then my brain goes, yes, Jamali. But now you have stuff they want to steal. So I'm like, yeah, free the mandem. If they've completed the course, maybe. I don't know. Free them up if they've, if they've repented. I don't know. If they ring me up, they'll be like, yo, say free Ginger J. Free Ginger J. Say free Worm. Is Worm still locked up? You better free him. Say free Killer. Nah, I don't know about Killer, man. I'm not saying we should never free Killer, just don't free him where I live. Because I live in a nice gentrified area now, just what I'm saying. So it's like, and I'm angry at gentrification, but it's hard because it's delicious. I'm drinking my latte going, oh, these hipsters, you know? Like, so yeah, free hit Killer, but just not where I live, not in my community. Because gentrification is a weird one, because does anyone remember when London was shit? Like, Hammersmith was shit. None of you would have been able to be here. It was that bad. It was never Peckham shit. Peckham was shit. I go as far as Bethnal Green and look at Peckham through a telescope. That's as far as I go. But gentrification is a weird one because can we disagree that you see like middle-class hipsters that moved to the ghetto pre-gentrification are some of the most bravest people in the world? Only a hipster can go to the hood and go, no, I see potential. Seriously, I don't see it.
I have a theory that masturbation is a kind of summoning spell for your own rational mind. Because we're all so driven by hormones and by desire. Sometimes you've got to have a wank to speak to your real self. You have a wank, you go, oh, I should have shagged my ex one last time. I'll text her, I'll meet her, I'll shag her. And then you come and a little voice comes on in your head that goes, yeah, don't do that, mate. You've got to be careful with jokes, haven't you? Because not everybody's got a sense of humour. I can remember when I first realised not everybody's got a sense of humour. I was 13, I was at school and we were doing a class on stereotypes. The teacher was a really good guy. He's just talking about how stupid stereotypes are. And he was talking about a stereotype that day that's so old-fashioned and so Scottish that you definitely won't have heard it. Have you ever heard the stereotype that deaf people are really strong? That was a genuine thing when I was growing up. Deaf people, particularly deaf and dumb people, were believed to be really strong. And the teacher said, think how stupid that is. Have you ever seen a deaf contender for the heavyweight championship of the world? And me, aged 13, I put my hand up and I went, there was one, sir, but he was disqualified for punching after the bell. And nobody laughed. And I knew right then that life was going to feel pretty long. You've got to have a bit of leeway with jokes, haven't you? I can't write jokes for the average person, can I? The average person is Chinese. So I'm from Glasgow, a city where people think that hepatitis B is a fucking vitamin. To explain Glasgow's attitude to you, this happened to me recently. I was having a wee snooze in a park, because my career's been going really well lately. I was having a wee doze under a tree, and a guy came up to me and he went, do you know your problem? You're fucking unapproachable. Glasgow's like an entirely negative city. I went to a coffee shop one time. Two middle-aged women sat across from me and they started to moan as they sat down about how long they thought the coffee was going to take. So nothing had happened and they were both angry. And coffee turned up, and the first one takes a sip and goes, "That's not very good, is it?" And the second one takes a sip of hers and goes, "I don't even like coffee." I think English people don't really understand Scottish attitudes. You think that we all just want to see the English football team get beaten, but actually a lot of us would much rather see the team playing crash into an oil refinery. I enjoyed reading about Sam Allardyce. I didn't realise English football had a corruption problem. I thought the only problems in English football were racism, sexism, homophobia, match fixing, gambling, sexual assaults, and the failure to perform at major tournaments.
Do you remember years ago when there was a guy pissing against the front door? Like that. Who then took out his keys and went inside. I'm from Glasgow. If I had to explain Glasgow to you. British Army have got a big recruiting drive on in Scotland at the minute. Because that's what you need if you're fighting an unwinnable war in the desert. More ginger people. That's why they couldn't send Prince Harry. They couldn't afford the resources required to start developing factor 60,000 sunblock. It's not always the friendliest place in the world, Scotland. I once saw an English guy in Glasgow trying to order a pint of lager and lime, and the barman went, "We don't do cocktails." We can't just be dour, negative bastards up there. John Logie Baird invented the TV, and when people came up to congratulate him, he went, "Aye, but there's fuck all on." We're looking forward to the Olympics in London. I'll take that as a no.
Little request, if you know anybody who works for WhatsApp, just tell them to let us delete the message entirely, like it was never sent. Don't delete the message, but still write, "Neil has deleted the message." Like a little telltale informer. So that your friend still texts you and goes, "What was in that message that you deleted it?" You know when it says delete for me or delete for everyone? Who picks? Just for me, and just go and delete it for me, yeah? Yeah, still want them to see the awful stuff I've written, but I don't want to be reminded of how much of a dick I can actually be, yeah. It's like getting a tattoo removed and walking into the laser place going, "What are my options for tattoo removal?" You got two options. First option, we shine a laser on your leg, remove the tattoo so no one will see the tattoo. What is my second option? We shine a laser in your eyes so you won't see the tattoo. I'm going for option number 2, please. Thank you very much. I bought a new phone. I fell for the ad. You can put the phone on somebody else's phone and you can wirelessly transfer the charge. And the company thinks people are going to use that. No one's going to use that. Your charge is the single most important thing in your life. Look at your friends. They would prefer to donate a kidney to a stranger than to give you 5% of their mobile phone charge. Have you ever been abroad? Yeah? You ever been abroad? You bring one adapter, one charger between you and your spouse. The UN level of negotiation involving getting the charger back from the person you love. Can I have the adapter, love? Can I have the charger? Can I have the adapter? Can I have the adapter? And they hit you with it. Absolutely, Neil. But what battery percentage do you have? And you look at the person you've chosen to spend the rest of your life with and you lie like a mofo, don't you? 3%, 2%, 0.5%. I've never even seen 0.5% in the mobile phone before, to be honest with you. Show me your phone, I'll plug it in for you. I can't show you my phone. Why can't you? I'm having an affair. How you hell having an affair? Show me your phone! We'll be in Spain. My wife will go and have a shower before we go out. She'll leave the bathroom door open and the shower door open. That is not an invitation to join her. You'll make that mistake once in your life, let me tell you that. Just because she doesn't trust you to not unplug her phone and plug your phone in. And she's right, because that's exactly what you do, isn't it? You plug her phone back in towards the end, so you got plausible deniability. You plug out my phone. I did not plug out your phone. It went up by 2% after a half an hour shower. That is because Spanish electricity is different. You plugged it in during the siesta and the wires were asleep. That's how it works here. If I talk to you in the front row, hope you know I'm just messing. You get great answers. I had a farmer at a gig once. I said, what do you do? He goes, I'm a sheep farmer. I said, I read recently sheep can recognise individual human faces. He went, well, as long as they can't give evidence, I should be. I had a South African man at a gig in Dublin once. I said, where are you from? Big blonde guy. He goes, Cape Town. I said, Cape Town is beautiful and warm and sunny. How did you end up in Dublin? He went, I got in the wrong container. The Irish guy, lovely fella, big guy, you know. Apparently we're going to be the most overweight country in Europe in a few years. And they tell us this like it's bad news. Oh, it's a catastrophe, it's a disaster. It's good news, ladies and gentlemen. Only 180 years after the worst famine in Western Europe. I call that a comeback, ladies and gentlemen. No one else has bounced back like we have. Those people in Pompeii just died. If they were Irish, they'd be selling lava lamps by now.
Is there a barrister in the room, by the way? Do you have a barrister here? Yeah, so close. Who you are? What's your name, champ?
Mark.
Mark. And Mark, what do you do?
Trainee solicitor.
You're a trainee solicitor. Okay, so you don't get to appear in court, do you?
No.
Oh, man, that's the whole fun of it, though. That would be the gas part, just appearing, just doing the walk in front of the jury. Oh, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. Now, that would be the real gas of it all. You don't get that, do you not? No. No. Oh. Here, let me find out your instincts, though. Maybe you made the right decision, right? When you get to the end of a jury, right? When you get to the end of a jury, you're walking along, no, and you get to the end, right? And the jury's here. Which way should you turn?
Back on yourself.
Like this?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's why you wouldn't have made a good barrister. Just that moment there, right? If you're ever in a court, right, and you're ever representing yourself, walking along and blah, 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 your instinct will be to go blah, 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 end of the thing, just go blah, 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 blah. Wrong. This is the way you do it. Blah, 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 blah. But I ask you, when you look into the face of my client there, ask yourself, is he not guilty? That's how you do it, right? You ever been to showbiz? Take it for free, right? Anyway, this psychic, this nameless psychic was on recently, this is a completely true story, was on a couple of days before me in a theatre somewhere, right? And died roaring, couldn't do it, genuinely, and to the point that the audience turned. The audience were just looking at her going, you can't do this. You're actually bad at this, right? You can't. And they started taking the mickey. I started going, give me a name, give me a woman's name. Tracy, perfect, Tracy. Let's call her Tracy, right? Tracy. And the audience started going, Tracy, what about my mother? And Tracy would go, is she dead? And they go, no. And another voice went, Tracy, what about my sister? And you one goes, is she dead? And we went, no. And eventually someone goes, Tracy, what about my father? And she goes, is he dead? And the voice goes, yeah. And he went, oh, Ace, no. Something is coming through. Something is coming through. And the voice goes, no, he's here. Sorry. They're glorious. They're fantastic. They're fabulous people. So we had that chat with Andy. We talked to James again. We talked to Julia there. The one person I really wanted to talk to was, well, actually, was a few, but Melissa from the property shows. Where's that? Hello, how are you? How's yourself? Good to have you here. You do the property shows on BBC Daytime, don't you?
I do.
You do? Yeah, well, you did. What are you going to do next year? Not so much in the property now, is it? That's a kind of a topical one there, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm just picking, you know? What are you going to do? A show called We're Staying Here? Or, actually, the schools aren't that bad. No, do you know what my favourite is? My absolute favourite? The best of all, right? Not grand designs, not location, with respect, not homes under the hammer, property ladder. is the greatest property show in the world, right? For one simple reason, right? Property Lad. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Very good. Brilliant. Best, almost the greatest television show, because uniquely, historically, it's the only television show ever that has an expert that nobody pays a blind bit of notice to. Every week, Sarah Beanie comes in and goes, Magnolia, and they go, oh no, we're painting it black. Every week, she's going, no, please, what are you doing there? We're digging a hole in the hallway to put a swimming pool in. What? She must be off camera every week doing, why am I even here? They don't even listen to a word I say. Every week I give advice and then they make a big profit and they think they're as good as me. Well, they're not. And she's in, she's out, she's in, she's out. It's a continuity disaster area. It really is, yeah? I'm not saying anything against her being pregnant, but it does kind of give away how long it takes these people to do a bit of basic plumbing, you know what I mean? In the time it's taken them to plaster the back bedroom that she's been in, she's had 4 kids in the time they've taken them to that. Just stick her in a poncho in episode 1 and be done with it, right? Make her Mexican, she can do the accent. Come in on a donkey going, so you want to develop some property? Yeah. Perhaps you'd like to knock through the wall and make this into a separate bedroom? Yeah, that would rise you many, many pesos for you if you can possibly do that.
Hope I haven't offended anybody. You don't know. You can talk about whatever you want on stage. Nobody gives a toss. You talk about cats. Don't talk about cats on TV. You know? Even if it's a funny thing about cats. Like Cat in the Bin. Remember that? There was a week of Cat in the Bin. A week of a cat going into a bin. You remember the first time you saw that horrific footage? The cat go into the bin. I know, live it with me, brothers and sisters. Is it just me, or was your first reaction, why is Susan Boyle putting a cat in a bin? What the hell's going on? Genuine, my first reaction when I saw the cat go in, I've turned into such an environmental idiot as I've got older. Genuine, my first reaction when I saw the cat go into the bin was, oh God, no, wrong bin. A cat is 100% recyclable. You never know, man. I love the news. And the tabloids. I love the tabloids, man. But are they creepy? Oh, you better believe they are. Here's a classic example, lad. The Middletons. Kate and Pippa. Right? They must have been raised in pretty much the same upbringing, right? They've got to be pretty similar women. Not in the tabloids, they're not. I feel sorry for Pippa, do you? Because all the filth is on her, isn't it? Because the tabloids can't say anything untoward about Kate, not the future Queen of England. So, oh, here she comes. Lovely, lovely Kate. Oh, lovely, lovely Kate. Here she comes. Duchess of Cambridge. Future Queen of England. Here she is. Oh. Handing out coins to the immigrant children. Look at filthy Pippa. Oh, you filthy cow. Who brings an arse to a wedding? Yeah. Oh, lovely, lovely Kate. Oh, healing the poor with her eyes. Oh. Look at filthy Pippa. Down the docks with a bell. Ding, ding. Come and get it, boys. Come on. That's all I'm saying, people. I hope I haven't offended anyone. You just don't know when you're a comedian. I'll give you an example of this. I did a gig for the biscuit industry. That's right, people. I work for the biscuit industry. I know. It was terrifying, man. It was 15 biscuit businessmen. And I was dreading it, man. You know, not like this. I knew you were going to be good. But it turns out they were great. They were fantastic. And that's why I said it. I only said it because they were good. And I didn't walk straight on and say it. At the end of the gig, I went, listen, you've been fantastic. They were like, more. I'm like, no, I can't. I have to go do another gig. But before I go, can I ask you something? They're like, yeah. Anything? Yeah! It's about biscuits. Yeah! This is all I managed to say before the whole crap house went up in flames. Wagon wheels. They're the same size as they've always been!
Oh, we have a great show for you tonight. We have a fantastic show. Very funny comedians. I know funny. I do very funny. People always ask me who I think is funny. That's the number 2 question I get asked as a comedian. The number 1 question I get asked as a comedian is, have you ever died? As soon as you tell someone you're a comedian, first thing they want to know, oh, you ever died? Oh, what's it like when no one laughs? Oh, tell us about the worst gig you've ever had in your life. Please, relive for me, in minute detail, the worst moment of your professional career. Have you ever really died? It's like saying to a doctor, tell us about the last patient you lost. What happened? With the family crying. I bet they were they? Yeah. People are such ghouls. It's the number 1 question. Have you ever died? Number 2 question, though, is what makes you laugh? People always want to know that from me. Who do you think is funny? And that's a nicer question. That's more understandable. You know, I make people laugh. People want to know what makes me laugh. In the same ways you might say to your hairdresser, who cuts your hair? Or you might say to someone in an Audi, who do you think drives like a cock? Same kind of thing. I like that joke. It's a short joke, it's a sharp joke, and also with that joke, I get to spot every Audi driver in the room. I can just see a pinched expression on your face there. All right, no need to be like that about it. I've done well for myself. It's a very reliable machine. And the fact that I can tell you're an Audi driver by the expression on your face means technically you've just given a form of indication. So well done. Good for you. Who knew you could do it? Yeah. Have you ever died? Who do you think is funny? You always get asked the same questions. That's what I don't like doing interviews. I love doing this job. This is great. I love standing here talking to you, though. But doing interviews, it's a necessary evil. It's part of the job. I having to answer questions. And I don't even like watching interviews. You'd rather watch a comedian tell jokes than talk about how they wrote them. You'd rather watch a singer sing songs than talk about their inspiration. You'd rather watch a sports person do their sport. You'd certainly rather watch a sports person do their sport. Come on now. Sports interviews can be turgid affairs at best. And then I hit it with my foot. You mean you kicked it? If you like. They're rarely interesting. They're rarely, and I'm not slagging sports people. It takes a great deal of single-mindedness to excel at a sport to a point where people want to interview you about it. But sports people are famous because they're good at sport, not because they're good at talking about sport. That's why you find a sports person who is good at talking about sport, the BBC will cream their knickers over them. We found a woman. She used to ride horses. That's a sport. And she's quite lively and engaging and charismatic. Put her on absolutely everything! Do not let her out of your sight. Even people I'm a fan of. Andy Murray. I love Andy Murray. Britain should be very proud of Andy Murray. He's done a lot to be proud of. He's won Wimbledon. He's Olympic gold medalist. And he put up with a lot of shit when he was named, 8th best in the world? Oh, you bloody loser, you. Done a lot to be proud of. He's won Wimbledon, he's Olympic gold medalist, and he's magnanimous in victory, he's humble in defeat. And he's a big comedy fan. He's been to see me live, I've met him, lovely bloke. But Jesus Christ. I am not listening to him drone on one more time about how he won, stroke lost another tennis match. I can't do it. Well, then I hit it to him, and he hit it back to me, and I'm very good at tennis, but he is also very good at tennis. Some days I'm better at tennis than he is, but I think what's happened today was he was slightly better at tennis than I am, and that's maybe why he won the game of the tennis. For God's sake, man! I'm not very sporty, you can probably tell. I like hill walking. Doesn't really count as a sport. I like hill walking and camping. Proper camping, though. None of your glamping bullshit. Glamping. Derivation of the words glamorous and camping. Where you stay in a yurt, which is more expensive than a hotel. What is wrong with you? A lot of people don't realise yurt is a derivation of the words yura and twat. A lot of people don't realise that.
To be honest with you, I'm bisexual, but during lockdown, I'll admit, I was strategically gay. I think that was the only way to go. When dating became such that you had to meet strangers in parks, and also you had to believe the other person when they said they washed their hands. I'm not doing that with men. I also think that ultimately, if you are bi, I don't really know why anybody would be choosing men. Yeah, no offense, it's just that we smell better and you're violent. So The men who don't laugh at that unnerve me most. Yeah, okay. Good lad, join in. Okay. There are good things about being broken up with. I think one of my favourite things is that I had to get my house sorted, so I got a bunch of DIY done. It really, I think DIY is amazing. DIY, in particular, there's one silver lining, and that is that DIY reminded me of something I had long forgotten the point of, which is, of course, men. You're amazing, aren't you? Specifically, I'm a fan of a subgenre of men. They're called handymen. Do we know these guys? Oh my God, they're wizards. I love them. They do magic. I adore them. You're not sold. That's okay. I had one lad in one day, had a bunch of photos and art on the floor, left, came back, on the wall. Oh, I'm sorry, these guys are defying gravity and you're not impressed by that? Incredible. I'm obsessed with them. I love them. I also had one day where I had two men in, I know, very exciting, and I had a bookcase, right, that needed bolting to the wall. I said, can you bolt that to the wall? They said, yeah, of course we can. I said, cool. Just so you know, even if you bolt it to the wall, the floor is uneven, so it will wobble. They said, no, don't worry about that, sure, we'll just get some extra wood and pop it under it. What? I said, don't worry about that, sure, we'll just get some MDF and pop it under it. What is this witchcraft? Here's the thing, Apollo. They did. I was like, I will suck you both off. Obviously, I had to think about it afterwards because head was my first reaction, only my first reaction, I think a normal one. My second one was, of course, to wonder how I am a woman in her 30s who doesn't know how to do any DIY. And I think the obvious answer there is that men are keeping it a secret to remain relevant. And that's not on me, right? But I do know some women can do DIY. I date soft butches, I'm aware. But genuinely, I mainly know because a woman came to my house from British Gas, very modern, and she fixed my boiler, right? And after she was done, she said, okay, that's all done, all sorted. Just before it works, you will need to bleed the radiators. I said, what? She said, oh, for that to work, you're just going to need to bleed the radiators. I said, the butch one left. What are you saying? Sorry? Can't really hear you behind all of my hair. What's happening? She goes, do you want me to show you how to do that? I said, is that allowed? Women in the room, look at me. Come here to me now, focus, right? Did you know that that is just turning a key and waiting for liquid? It is basic hand job stuff, and no one will tell you. Here's the thing. Every man in my life has acted like that as a state secret, right? This man's furious, I'm telling you. You now have all the information you need. You're free, run. My dad bleeds a radiator in such a way that I thought he used his own dick. I thought there was actual blood involved. He'll go off with a bunch of tissues being like, I will do it, do not look, I will do it. Anyway, she fixed my boiler, so I was like, I will eat you out. They all said no, I had to pay both times. It's hard out there.
You know, when you're in love with somebody, you rarely see them at work. You rarely see them doing the thing that they do and you can't. It's extremely attractive. Go follow your partner someday to work. If they're having an affair, it'll be a hideous conclusion. But just watch them doing the thing. It's really cool because you can't do it, they can. You go, I fucking look, you're fantastic, you're glorious. Particularly when they're saving a life. Jesus, you're there going, oh, you're beautiful, I love you, and you're making me look good right now. Yeah, she's my girlfriend. Look at her, she's Gloria. She's saving her life. Trophy bird, right? I had to be peeled off the doctor the day of the mini stroke. Seriously, she was underneath me going, that's very flattering, but could I deal with the situation first, right? And I was behind her going, no, she'll be unconscious for a while, yes. Apologise, she's actually in the room tonight. Sorry about that. But it is nothing more attractive than seeing the person. I mean, the doctor here, have you a partner there with you? Have you a boyfriend or a husband with you?
Yeah, he's a teacher.
He's a teacher, so he's not in the medical trade. My teacher friend, isn't it sexy? Have you seen her ever deal with an emergency, have you?
Not yet.
Not yet, he said loudly. Get her to run over one of these feckers on the way home tonight. Dude, it's extremely attractive, but the one bad thing is you're very clannish people, the doctors. They have a tendency to hang around together in little groups, right? Okay? My teacher friend, do you have to go to loads of social events where it's just you and doctor? Does that happen to you, my friend? Does it?
I hate it.
Yeah, I know, it's a nightmare. I hate it, he said. I I am articulating your pain, my friend. He hates it, ladies and gentlemen, because there's times I've been at dinner parties and it's doctor, and I'm the only feckin' muggles in the room, right? And they don't know half as much as you give them credit for. My friend, if you're ever at another dinner party and it's all doctors, feck with their heads. It's remarkably easy to do. If you're ever out with a load of doctors and they're going, well, today I performed a conductectomy. You just go, yeah, but what are hiccups exactly? There's many competing theories at the moment. And then you go, why, if you stay in bed longer, do you feel more tired? It's not my speciality, that particular field. Does time heal all wounds? Who the fuck invited you to this dinner party anyway? What are the oil of Olay 7 signs of aging? No one actually knows what the oil of Olay 7 signs of aging are, right? Apparently they start with little lines around the eyes and finish with a woman sitting on a stairs with a bottle of gin going, I have him the best years of my life! And it takes a feckin' hell of a cream to get rid of that, let me tell you. Doctor, one final question. Doctor at the back there, my surgeon friend, liver and pancreas, answer me this. What are hiccups exactly?
Diaphragmatic irritation.
A diaphragmatic irritation. Good woman yourself. Very good. Let the punters at home note she said diaphragmatic irritation, which is right. I also would have accepted any arrhythmic irritation of the phrenic nerve. Please. I'm not a doctor. I'm just riding one. Okay.
This year, I did no lilt February. Thank you. I know, it sounds impossible, but you take it one day at a time. Did I have any today? No, you're a legend. It gets hard around the middle of the month, you get the cravings. It's called lilt guilt. You're like, oh, I bloody love some lilt. It's the night where you go to the shop at midnight, you kick the doors in, where's the lilt? And they're like, we don't stock it anymore. Like, ah! So you try and make your own hooch lilt, you know, you get a pineapple and a grapefruit, and you add in batteries and a horse's head, and you're like, it's good, but it's not totally tropical. Did that joke in America recently. Turns out they don't have lilt there. So, this is it. This is all I do. Imagine if this was your actual... I go like blah, 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 and you go, ah, ha, 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 money. Can't believe I get away with it. You do actual, proper London jobs. You know, like blacksmith, you know? Farrier. Brunch DJ. The big three. I tell you, I do not trust people who work in offices. I know, right? What are they doing? Nothing takes that long. They're planning something. They must be. Do you know? Do you ever call in to visit your friend in an office unexpectedly? Everyone just shits themselves. They're like, what's he doing here? Cover the screen, lie across the spreadsheet, get him out. Kind regards, warm regards, best. That's how they talk. Seen the email. I know what it's like in the real world. Look, sometimes I check in your world. Oh, gross, back to showbiz. No, I'm very self-aware of the level of fame that I have. I was in a supermarket recently, and an older lady came up to me, and she put her hands on my shoulders, and she said, you are vaguely familiar. And that is it. I did a gig in Wrexham, and I was at an ATM machine, and a guy cycled by, and he shouted at me, surprised to see you at an ATM machine. And I've been obsessed with it since then. What did he mean? Like, on the one hand, is he surprised I don't have a butler to go to the ATM machine for? No, I think it's the opposite. I think I'm surprised you have any money whatsoever doing keyboard horse shit. Here's my greatest ever showbiz tale. I did a gig in your Milton Keynes recently, thank you, and I was staying in the Milton Keynes Hilton, and she is the least well-known of all the Hilton sisters. And I checked in after the gig at like 12:30. Room 303 is where this took place. Open the door, TV on in the room. Not that uncommon in the chain hotels. I guess it's to welcome you. But get this, on the TV is me playing the shitty keyboard on some show. Immediate thought is like, is this a service they provide to all guests? If so, no, it's the realization, this is it. I've arrived. And I waltz into the room, down the little corridor with the loo away to the left. And as the room opens out, there is a fully naked man lying on the bed. So they've given me the key to someone else's room. But he is lying there, watching me on the TV. And he looks up. To think of something smart. What I say is like, oh shit, sorry man. I could have said anything and I'd be a legend. I could have been like, oh, you enjoying this? Ah, no boner. And just walked out of it.
My name is Ardle. It is a real name. I am a real person. Don't worry, nobody ever gets my name right. Call me all sorts of things. Harry and Arnold and Aaron and Anal. That was one, genuinely. Yes, I heard that over a tannoy system at a theatre in Norwich. Could Anal come to the stage door, please? Lovely. Me being so passive, I just turn up and go, yeah, it's me, Anal. What do you want? Of course, a lot of people call me Dougal. You know why? Simply because of a character that I played in a sitcom many years ago. And just before I start, I'd like to get something off my chest, if you don't mind. Because of that character that I played in this show called Father Ted, a lot of people think I'm actually stupid. I think I'm the stupidest person in the world and they feel sorry for me. Only last week someone stopped my wife in the street and said, is he as stupid in real life? And I wouldn't mind, but I was standing right beside her at the time. I'm talking to her like she's my carer, not just my wife. And this is a true story, and I'm going to tell you this and then I'm going to move on. A couple of years ago, I was in a taxi. I arrived at Dublin Airport. I live in Dublin, and I jumped into a taxi, and I asked the taxi driver to take me home. I gave him the address. I didn't just assume he knew where I lived. And the taxi driver just wanted to talk about this show that I was in, Father Ted, and he was looking at me with pity, and he actually asked me at one point, he said, do you remember being in it? This is my life. People wonder why I do this. Why I travel up and down the country week in, week out, try to convince strangers that I'm a normal, intelligent human being. Well, that's the reason. Anyway, I'm in the taxi, and I'm trying to change the subject to anything at all, sport or politics, and I'm trying to impress the taxi driver with my knowledge, and I'm using big words to impress him, like utensil and testosterone, and we were getting on fine. We were about 20 minutes into the journey. This is absolutely true. I suddenly remembered that I have a car. Some of you are ahead of me. And 3 days previously, I parked my car at the airport car park. And I just couldn't tell him. I couldn't bring myself to tell him. I know how the world works. One little slip up, you'd never be allowed to forget it. Oh, sorry, could you turn around? I'm such a big fool. No. I know he'd be telling everyone, oh, you'd never believe who I had in the car, that feckin' Egypt from Father Ted. So I let the driver take me all the way home, and as soon as he was out of sight, I called another taxi and I went back to the airport.
I recently got one of those virtual reality sets into the house, you know, with the mask and the whole... How many of you have done this yet? 1, 2, 7. It's amazing. It's genuinely stunning to me how few people have had a go on this, like whatever. It's genuinely stunning. You put the mask on your head, it's got 2 screens, independent screens, so therefore everywhere you move, it's like perfectly realistic. You put the headphones in, it's like completely immersive. You're in a 360 degree in all direction, totally artificial. The word is genuinely stunning. I think it's going to change gaming. I think it's going to change movies. It is going to revolutionize burglary. It's just... You break into a house and somebody has that on their face, Jesus, relax, chill out, you've got an hour. They're not going to know you're there. There's no rush, you can choose what you want. I like that, but that'll work well in the hall. It's a different game, right? And the weird thing is, as you saw there, not everyone's having a go at this. This is a genuinely transformative entertainment technology, and not everyone is using VR, right? And one of the quiet reasons that no one's talking about it, the reason that people aren't using VR is because nobody's using it to watch porn. It seems like a weird thing to do, but in the kind of history of nerdy kind of things, porn is surprisingly important for getting new technology accepted. Porn is the reason why Blu-ray beat the other kind of special DVD in their race a few years ago. Porn is the reason that sometimes video streaming software beat other kinds of video streaming software. The stuff that gets used for porn has a place immediately in the market, right? And nobody is using VR for porn, right? And I'm not naive, right? I know that men are visual creatures, but I can kind of see, you know, no man, while actually making love, has ever there been going, oh my God, this is incredible. Oh my God, honey, this is amazing. Oh, I'm almost there. I'm almost there. Let me just have a quick look around the flat. Oh, that's fantastic, Jim. Oh, that's amazing. Jesus, huge. Is that Corner Sing original now, or did you have a conversation? But the main reason that people aren't using VR for porn is because you cannot be entirely sure that she's out for the afternoon. And I mean 100% sure, because the stakes are really high. You do not look good in this situation. You do not need your loved one going, oh, I've left my credit card, I better go back in. What is this you're doing to yourself? Yes, I was bringing the kids to my mother's house, but the little one fell in. We've had to come home. But Jesus, this is what greets us. The nightmare is you finish the wank of the century, you take off the mask, and there are 3 police officers just staring at you. Going, do you have no idea what's been happening for the last while? Somebody broke into your house. They were spotted, we were called, there's been a standoff. You've been a hostage for 45 minutes. We've had to close off your road. Sky News have a helicopter slowly circling overhead. Your wife is outside on a megaphone going, stay strong, John, stay strong. And all the time we've been watching you on the thermal imaging, just battering away at yourself.
But as much as you want to save animals, I'm pretty sure you're not going to do it by buying cosmetics. Pretty sure you can't walk into the body shop and buy some burdock root peppermint oil foot scrub, and some little badger somewhere in Scotland is going to go, wow, I feel a whole lot better about my life right now. Somebody's buying that burdock root peppermint oil foot scrub. I don't see the point in testing cosmetics on rabbits anyway, because they're already cute. Slather some lip gloss and eyeliner all over them. Now they're all gussied up like some $3 whore. There's no dignity in that for a rabbit whatsoever. You want to test out cosmetics? Test them out on big game, because they stink. Get up under a hippopotamus there and get some roll-on deodorant under his armpit. See how fresh and self-assured he stays all day, huh? Little lip gloss on a beaver. Real beaver. Stay with me, fella. Real beaver. Right? Dam building, log eating beaver. If he's charged through 60 logs and he's still wearing that lip gloss, that's some damn good lip gloss right there, ladies and gentlemen. You know this whole thing about, you ever meet someone famous and you tell your friends, and then they say, well, what was he like? Because all they really want to hear is that he was a prick. That's why they like to say Tom Cruise is the nicest guy in Hollywood. You always think, well, if I was making $8 million a film, I'd be nice too. Jesus Christ. But I'm not sure he is that nice. Because I always read these articles about how he's so insular and he's into his Scientology and stays at a hotel, won't make eye contact with anyone in the hotel because he doesn't want to talk about the plots to his new films. Apparently, as if staring Tom Cruise in the face, he would just crack under pressure. What are you staring at? Hey, you want to hear about my new film? You ever seen a Tom Cruise film like he couldn't figure out the plot in about 18 seconds? Oh, Christ. He's a cocktail maker. He's a pretty good cocktail maker, too. Till he has a crisis of confidence and can't make cocktails anymore. Then he meets a good-looking woman who talks him into being a better cocktail maker. A riveting piece of cinema that was. Then he's a race car driver. Pretty good race car driver, too. Till he has a crisis of confidence. Can't race cars anymore. Then he meets a good-looking woman who talks him into being a better race car driver. Then he's a jet pilot. Some of you are starting to see a pattern emerge here. Pretty good jet pilot? Yes, he was. Till he had a crisis of confidence, couldn't fly jets anymore. Then I believe he met a good-looking woman who talked him into being a better jet pilot. Then he was a sports agent. Then he was the brother of a retarded guy. He was a pretty good brother of a retarded guy till he had a crisis of confidence. He wasn't so sure he was such a good brother of a retarded guy. And then he met a good-looking woman who talked him into being a better brother of a retarded guy. Then he was some kind of, I don't know what he's in now, War of the Worlds. Maybe he fights the world. You know what? I bet he's a pretty good world fighter. But at some point he'll probably have a crisis of confidence. You'll meet a good-looking woman who convinces him it's okay to fight the world. Could be a Scrabble player for all I care. He's a pretty good Scrabble player. Till he draws all vowels. Has a crisis of consonants. And he meets a lovely Welsh woman who teaches him a lot of words he's never heard before.
I was such a fat kid. My mother used to buy bathing suits with blowholes in them. It was just... But my parents... I don't want to go into my childhood here because it's wrong. My parents hated me, okay? We're all going to hear the story, aren't we? When my parents hated me too. My parents, all I ever heard growing up is, why can't you be like your cousin Sheila? Why can't you be like your cousin Sheila? Sheila had died at birth. They just hated me. Whenever we would go like in front of a street, each parent would take my hand, hold our hand, we're crossing the street, and then they'd swing me into the traffic. They used to say, take candy from strangers. Ask the funny man in the raincoat, does he own a van? It is just... No, I had a very bad childhood, and that's because, and I'm sure none of you give a damn, but I was the only Jewish kid, this is the absolute truth, growing up in an all-Catholic neighborhood. You know what that's? The Irish people. Only Jewish kid in a Catholic neighborhood. You know what that's like? You were all doing Hail Marys, I was doing Hail Murrays. I mean, it was just... No Christmas tree? No Christmas tree. Do you know what that's like when you're the only kid without a Christmas? Because everybody has Christmas trees. And nowadays, it's like, well, we do it for all faiths. It's such bullshit. Yeah, we walk into an office building, and there's a Christmas tree, and there's a menorah. Bullshit. The Christmas tree goes up, 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 up. There's like a little shitty menorah with two orange lights that some angry Puerto Ricans lit backwards. I mean, yes. Juan, you lit those lights backwards. Fuck you, you killed our Lord. I mean, it is just... So, I'm at the age where I figure, screw it, I'm gonna have a Christmas tree. I got the biggest Christmas tree I got a 2-story high Christmas tree. I put everything you could think of on that. Up, 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 gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. On the bottom, I got the manger. I got the whole goddamn thing going there. The wise men, the sheep. The only thing is, I have the baby, but I'm Jewish. I got him a nanny. It was just a mess. And I redressed Mary. She didn't look good. That stupid thing over her head, come on. I put her in a Chanel suit, Manolo Blahniks, and a Louis Vuitton pocketbook. You're the mother of God. Look it. It is just... Am I wrong? If she had looked like that, she would have gotten into the inn. Yes. The point is, it's about looks. Mary, she looked good. She would have done better. Mother Teresa, Oh, don't give me, oh. Mother Teresa, if she had looked better, she'd be a saint by now. Was she a bow wow? Yes. Did she need electrolysis? Let's talk to each other here. Even lepers were throwing their fingers at her. Here, get great. Because it is all about looks. This is my message, Great Britain. This is my message. Looks count. Education, looks count. I have no sex appeal, and it has screwed me up for life. Peeping Toms look in my window, pull down the shade. You have no idea. My gynecologist examines me by telephone. It is just...
People ask me all the time, so Rich, how did you end up becoming a comedian? And I always say, why do you say end up, like I made a mistake? It's kind of a polite conversation you have with a tramp. So, fella, how'd you end up in a skip? It's the most fantastic job in the world, right? You make people laugh, you, fella, with all that stress on your face. Look at you, sitting in the front row trying to get the jokes before anyone else. How desperate are you for comedy, my friend? Well, you people, bricks, but... Oh, I'm sorry, what? I wasn't expecting a response. Do you work?
I'm a student.
A student, all right. No more questions, Your Honor. It's very easy, no heavy lifting. Yeah? Why don't you think about being a comedian? What are you studying?
History.
History. That goes back a long time, doesn't it? Why don't you try American history? A couple hundred years. Boom, you're done. Listen, here's the thing, all right? You just say intelligent things stupidly. That's all there is to being a comedian. Or maybe it's stupid things intelligently. It's not rocket surgery. I'll tell you that right now. That's what I get asked all the time. So I bet you were the class clown. Were you the class clown? Screw you. Why would you suggest I took a childhood disorder and turned it into a career, you prick? No one ever says to a hooker, were you the class whore? I bet you were the class whore, weren't you? Let the mystery be. I love watching Brits snap. That is the greatest thing in the world. When a Brit snaps, you don't even know they've snapped. It's not like Americans who take out 8 or 9 people with a high-powered rifle because they're social animals. Brits snap and you go, 2 hours later thinking, I think that guy snapped while I was talking to him. At that point where he crushed the pint glass with his hand, he was a bit pissed off. That's why when it comes to a war on terror, something we invented, the war on terror, because Brits would never have a war on terrify, because what's not terrifying to Brits? Everything. They just don't show it, right? Brit, you've had giants plucking your daughters out of villages a couple thousand years ago. Look that one up, history boy. It's true. So the basic British reaction to anything terrifying is this. How much is this going to cost? You can't really terrify. That's why I'm pretty sure the war, the whole terrorism thing, I think the terrorists have just kind of given up on Britain, because what can they possibly do, right? Listen, I would never compare the scopes of tragedy of, say, the World Trade Center to the bombs that blew up in London, but the reaction is completely different, right? America still has this entire culture of fear about terrorism. It's basically manifests itself by terror alerts being scrolled across the bottom of the TV screen by color. No explanation whatsoever. Just today's terror alert is orange. Now back to our show. What the hell was that? What does that mean? Orange, that's hunting accidents, roadworks, right? That's not good. It means be very, very aware of terror. So dwell on it now and then. Whereas in Britain, they blow up the buses in London. Next day, people are back at the bus stop waiting for the bus, right? And complaining about it because they're Brits. Bus is late. I mean, it's late. The one yesterday blew up. Yeah, well, that was yesterday. Today's today. I live in the present and the bus is late. That's why when you watch a Brit snap, right, you got to get really close to them. They'll pick a high street and just corkscrew for a while. That's... Not even knowing what direction to... What direction is corkscrew anyway? This is bullshit. And then you get too close and then you get sucked into the vortex, right? Are you okay? That moment when a Brit truly snaps, and it looks like this. I'm going to write a letter. That's it. I've been pushed to the brink, you bastard. Nobody treats me like this, you son of a bitch. Huh? I'm not emailing this, I'm writing this. Wait till you get that tomorrow. Big red pillar box right in the mail. Postal strike.
It's a tough time to be a young person in the world right now. I think it's a tough time, and here's why. I was writing on a TV show last year, and at the end of the show, when it was canceled, I checked my bank balance on my phone. And on my phone, I saw that I had $5,421, not to brag. And this is how little I know about being an adult. I saw the bank balance on the screen, and I thought to myself, with no irony, I should buy a house. Not a big house, one of those small $5,000 houses. How is any millennial ever gonna own a home? How is any young person ever gonna own a home? It seems impossible, and it's made me hate old people. I see a few of you in here tonight. I hate you. Because every old person in a city like London or LA or New York is the same. They're like, my house is worth £2 million, but when I bought it in 1981, I paid 11 raspberries for it. And every young person's like, I have 9 roommates. One of them's a dog with rabies. We'd love to get him out, but his name is on the lease. And every old person's like, I'm a librarian with a country home in the Cotswolds. Go fuck yourself. And then there's criticism of young people. Like, young people live on their phones. It's the only place we can afford to live. By the way, our governments are the oldest governments. Like, the US government has the 3rd oldest government in the world. It's Croatia, Mozambique, the United States, and the UK is 9th. The average age of a US politician is dead. All of our leaders are crazy old. It's a gerontocracy. John McCain died last year, the guy who ran for president against Obama the first time, and people were like, what a tragedy. What? They're like, what a tragedy. Gone too soon. No, he should have died 25 years ago. John McCain, when he ran for president, was the oldest man who ever lived. I'm not kidding, look it up. He's the oldest man who ever lived. Everyone he went to high school with was killed when the meteor hit. John McCain is in the Bible. If you open up to the 2nd page of the Bible, there's McCain killing his brother McAbel. He's crazy old. I can enjoy certain television shows. Like, I was watching SpongeBob SquarePants with a younger cousin, 2 years younger. We love the classics. And I'm getting angrier and angrier because I'm watching SpongeBob and I'm thinking, this sponge owns his own pineapple? This sponge owns a 2-story pineapple? Oh, he must be a banker. He's not a banker. He works in a fast food restaurant. And his neighbor works with him in the restaurant, lives in an Easter Island head. That's a listed building. There's no way he can afford that.
American consumerism is based on just taking out late-night ads and pretending that you're mentally deficient. Just screaming at the top of your voice. Come on down to Wally's World of Mortgages. That's right, we've got mortgages. I'm crazy. The boss left with the keys. I'm by the safe. I don't even work here. We're going to give you a mortgage. Even if you never heard of the word mortgage, come on down here. We're going to give you one. Can't pay us back, won't pay us back, we don't give a shit. Even if you're a trailer park crack whore popping babies out of your womb like self-rising biscuits, come on down here now, you're a homeowner. People, let's go take advantage of that guy. He seems nuts. It's the Ad Crunch Spectacular, whole infomercial devoted to the biggest piece of shit ever perpetrated on the public. It's the Ad Crunch Spectacular. You can have a washboard stomach in 12. Who needs a washboard stomach? Gonna play hillbilly bluegrass music right off your stomach there? It's shit! Hi, I'm Chuck Norris. I used to pummel vaguely Middle Eastern looking guys for a living. Now I'm selling this piece of shit Velcro nailed to an old ski. Flip it over, it's a canoe. Turn it inside out, it's a lady's evening dress. It's shit! You can have it by tomorrow. Of course you can, because it's a big piece of shit. That's what we do in America. We make lots of crap, but we deliver it really, really fast. Good things come to those who wait, but shit pretty much shows up right away, doesn't it? Pick up the phone. I like the ab crunch to the bing bong. That was fast. Wacka, 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 wacka. I'd love to tell you things are better in America, ladies and gentlemen, but, you know, I don't really know. It's, we have a fantastic president, but most Americans just want to see his birth certificate. Show us your birth certificate, Obama. Because, you know, I know there was I watched the elections here, and I kind of watched them. I kept an eye on them. I didn't get the full brunt of it. Basically, I left the country for a while. Gordon Brown was in charge. I came back. Now apparently the country's being led by 2 gay antiques dealers. I don't know how that happened. But at least they're getting along. As Americans, let me explain it to you. There's 2 parties in America. You probably know this. There's Republicans and Democrats. The Republicans are called the red states. Democrats are the blue states. The blue states are generally either on the West Coast or on the Atlantic seaboard. So basically, Democrat is anyone who's seen water. If you go to America, find a Republican and take him to the beach. And even the Republicans hate each other now. So they have a splinter group called the Teabaggers, the Tea Party, Teabaggers, whose leader, of course, is Sarah Palin, future presidential candidate, who spent 2 years governing 8,000 square miles of snow and would occasionally nip out at lunch to blow the head off a moose from 300 yards away. That's presidential material. Another woman who's moved to the forefront, running for a senator from Delaware, named Christine O'Donnell, who's running on a platform of anti-masturbation. She actually wants to make masturbation illegal. I give that law 6 minutes. Because the Bible says it's wrong. These are her exact words. Well, if my husband has figured out how to please himself, why am I in the picture? I got news for you. You're not. No man ever whacked one out of the ballpark thinking of his wife, ladies and gentlemen. You'd be thinking of anything. You'd be thinking of a 300-pound Bavarian milkmaid strapped over a barrel, or you banger with a kayak paddle wearing a Burger King paper crown and making her call you Mr. King Big Daddy Spanky Bottom. As you're about to shoot a ropey parabola of man jizz onto her ham hock buttocks, David Hasselhoff walks in dressed as a Luftwaffe pilot and says you've got a tax refund coming. And if that's wrong, I don't want to be right.
And my parents came to this country as refugees, right? Refugees, right? That's always a bit of a contentious topic. Whenever you mention it in this country, right? The refugee crisis. But it's like, guys, nobody's coming over here because they like the idea of Nando's and a Wetherspoons, right? Nobody's coming over here on a dingy little boat going, oh, I wonder what All Bar One is like. Yeah? You know the funniest part of that whole thing, right, is we call ourselves Great Britain, and then get surprised when people turn up to see how great it really is. So guys, there's an adjective in the name. No other country on earth has that. You don't have bang in Bangladesh. Do you know what I mean? Now, my parents came over here, they came over here for a safer life back in 1990 as refugees. My dad was part of the resistance fighting against Saddam Hussein's regime, so they came over here for a safer life. They were fleeing war and persecution, came over here for a safer life and ended up moving to Brixton, South London, right? Yeah, not this new Brixton, yeah. We've got hipsters walking around going, oh my God, I love the reggae. Look at your delightful colours, Jah Rastafari, indeed, yeah. I'm talking Brixton in the 90s where you could buy weed in a patty in the same building, right? The kind of place that was just littered with £1 shops, like you go in there for like sellotape, but somehow you end up leaving with chocolate, shower gel, and a brand new identity, It's changed now though, man. It's not as rough as it used to be. I knew my area changed when we got a Starbucks. Because I thought to myself, the last thing gangsters on council estates were crying out for was caramel frappuccinos, right? I just want to see how that conversation would happen. One of these guys walking in there like, yeah. Obviously. Because everything's obvious to these guys, right? Apart from the law. You know, he's looking at the menu. You can imagine his confusion when he sees the word panini. Okay, there's a panani in here, okay. My kind of coffee shop, yeah. He can't even pronounce what he wants. He's there looking at the menu like, yeah. Can I get up? Flip it. Just give me one of them things there, boss, yeah? You know, the guy behind the counter's really excited. Certainly, sir. What size would you like? Yeah, get me a large, innit? Because I'm living large, you get me? Make sure you spell my name correctly, though, yeah? It's killer with an A, not E-R. Now, I realized my area had properly changed, right? When I was in Lidl, right? No, because, you know, I love Lidl. I even love the way Lidl sounds, like Lidl, you know? Lidl. Because it sounds like what a German would reply if you asked him what the price was. You know what I mean? Like, it's only a little. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was in there, right, and I saw these two hipsters, right? And one said to the other one, no, Hugo. Don't get the sliced bread. We'll go and get some sourdough from elsewhere. I was like, who are these monsters, bruv? Yeah? I think they're too good for sliced bread, right? Sliced bread is so good, we use it as a measurement to describe how good other things are in this country, Hugo. And is that not good enough for you? Get out of my country right now, Hugo.